When you're here like this, it goes up here, and I'm coaching, everything is right here. The other thing is when he was providing the feedback, right? And I think the open-ended question, he was asking, he was pulling, right? Do you feel like the instruction was individualized? So do you feel like you need to work on one thing, you needed something different, you needed something else? Did you all feel like, okay, he told me specifically something that I need to work with, or was it kind of a group? What do you think?
Well, you are a guinea pig, so
It's more a group thing. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it's that way, right? But sometimes it's coaches too. Trent is like, hey, this is what I'm seeing here. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing with you. And I got a drill that's going to work on all this. And now everybody has something specific. So now during the coaching part, as I'm moving around, if you're doing your same thing, I can say, okay, you're doing much better. And I saw this, and over yours is much better. And now it's individualizing everything moving forward. Good job, coach. You're the first one. Good job, Trent. Good job. Okay. All right, who's next?
when they were doing this.
Okay, take them up.
Exactly.
Take them. Start it at your open observation.
Even if they're up like this.
Yep.
But the hard thing is some of these people are skilled, and they're gonna get away with it. Like you watch J.W. Johnson. That dude stands at the net like this. But I certainly wouldn't teach anyone else to do that. So even though they may be getting away with it in the drilling because they're decent, you kind of want to, have that. They're just coming down to here and waiting for the ball.
Be able to take that same thing is explaining why. Like Tony Grant, he's down here. He can get here all he wants. I said, this isn't the issue. The issue is if you're down here and all of a sudden the ball's up high, that extra time to come all the way up by not being in that ready position, that athletic stance, is costing you. Maybe you get to this one, but you don't get all the way up here, or you have to change your body. So teaching them to be in that athletic stance and they're out here and ready allows them to react to these, not the ones they're super used to.
I always tell my friends, you're never going to get.
Coach, you're in your close?
Yes.
Okay. Have you provided feedback? I'll let you close it out. If I want to get to, I'm going to go to the next coach real quick. But I want to make sure I get everything. So, ask a quick question. When you all were going through everything, right? And I like what he moved, right? And there was individual things. When you first came out of your open observation and came into your close, right? Did you feel like you had like an open forum to provide feedback?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Good job there. And also, do you feel like when he went through the parameters, he kind of explaining, hey, this is what something that we need to work on. Do you feel it was like really individualized, or do you feel like it was kind of a group thing? So like, hey, this is one thing we need to work on.
I would say group thing.
I mean, I'll speak for myself.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think I pretty much spoke broadly to all of them,
Yeah.
and I wasn't
Okay.
working, like you said,
Yeah.
individually. So,
Yeah, but sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like, hey, I'm doing, everybody's doing the exact same thing. But sometimes too, it makes a difference. Like, hey, one thing, Jan, I've noticed if you do this, like one thing we're gonna work on with you. Hey, okay, here's what I want to go here and so sometimes individualize. So then when you're walking around doing your coaching based on the way that you were doing it, where you were kind of walking around and having the three of them, and Bill jumped in, say, hey, you can focus on each one. You're doing better with whatever it is. You're doing better with whatever it is, and even having to coach it up from that perspective. Good job, though.
Okay, yeah.
Good job. Great job.
So
Yes.
you do the
I
individual
can do
when
better.
they're drilling, like you address the
You were started-
main thing you see, and then you go around do individual when they start doing the
Yes,
thing. It's
you-
like, hey, something I saw about you.
You were started in the close.
Okay.
Great question. And once you get in the close and you're starting out, the first thing is, how do you feel? You want to pull, right? I want to pull.
When does the close
Yep.
start? When I'm working individually?
Great question.
with him?
That close started the moment that he brought you in. When you first came out, he said, hey, I want to do a quick game. Let's do some mini pickleball, whatever you did the first thing. And he said, okay, great. Let's bring it in, right? And he brought you all in. At that point, it's closed because at that point, he's going right into coaching. He was able to see what he needed to work on based on what he saw. He said, I know I need to work on. Let me bring it in. So he brought you in, and that would be the point. Right then it's closed because there's skill development. And he starts it right off. Hey, how do you feel? What went well? What do you think you went? What do you think you did well? I agree, you did that well. Well, here's some opportunities. Hey, Jan, I saw one thing that I'm noticing with you. But another thing here. Hey, this is what you can feel. Man, you're on your heels, not on your toes. And so it may be stance, it may be grip for her, it may be something different. So every parameter may be different for each person, but it's really effective when you get that individualization into it. Make sense?
Yes.
Great job, though, man.
And-
Great
and
script.
is it good to do that as a group, as a whole, or then he brought us and we started another game, and then I think he walked around and
Yeah, good point. So he's doing it as a group because you're all in, and these are some things because now he's starting to talk about those parameters. And he say, I'm noticing one thing, and he may do it all and say, like some of us are not doing this, some of us are not doing this, and some of us are not doing this, and say, Jan, you may be this or you may be this. So this is a discussion that we're all having. And he said, but I have a drill that we're going to work on that's going to help all of this, right?
Yeah.
Because now going into it, you already understand why he's doing it and what he's trying to correct. So now when you're doing it, now he can walk around and the thing that he was talking to you about as you're doing the drill, hey, much better, much better. You're really catching it a lot more in front than you were before. Or, hey man, much better. You're a lot more on your toes now. You're not necessarily on your heels. And for you, hey man, you're really catching that paddle out. You're really catching that ball out front now as opposed to being that. So that's what he can do, individualizing the coaching, but he's going to call attention to it in the big framework of the artist. Make sense? Yep. Okay, great job, coach. All right, Jan, on you. You're coaching, starting from your open observation.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to do the same game, so we're going
Okay.
to pull these out.
But you got to talk them through it. Imagine they brand just coming out on the court. You just finished your.
We're gonna do a little mini football game here, and if I have you guys team up, we're gonna go you and then Bill, are you in here?
I'm gonna jump down here. I'm gonna jump down here.
I'm gonna break in a really quick routine. How do you typically deal with when we have odd number of three like that? You like to? I mean, we can't find all.
Man, coach, it all depends on you, man.
Okay.
You can play in with them, and you can still be able to do it. And you may be playing in with them right here, and you may be able to notice. You may
What we work
be all have engaged, and you may
single
have them
players
after every 3 point
practicing,
switching.
trying
So
to
now
get a
you're
short
able to
down
see
the
the
line
person that's
thing.
right in front of you,
And
and they're
then the
switching, and they're
two-person
switching, they're
sider,
switching. You may
moving
have them even
single
do
player
something
cross
where
court, so they
this
practice
person's going cross
rotating
court and then
forehand
down
and
line, then
backhand.
cross court this way, and now you're able to
And
walk around and look at all of
I
them.
set up
There's
the red
a lot of
targets
different
when
ways that you could do
originally
that.
when I started. They were hitting angles
Yep.
out in this person.
Okay, so you brought it in
So I
to
brought
make
it in,
it.
so they're still practicing aiming.
Jan, and I know, I'm messing up your game, but I did that for a
Gotcha.
reason.
Go
I did that
on
for a
the
reason.
next court to
I
get
like
to
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, modifying it so that it becomes more of a drill and less about
Yeah. Yeah. So what?
Right, because you want to observe
You are.
first.
No,
Yes,
we're
yep.
See, I actually skipped that in this, and that's what I realized.
That's the part you need to be able to see. You need to be able to see. No, it's good. But when you recognize it, no, don't let him off.
Okay.
Okay.
About him right now.
He needs to get on his toes.
And he's
Connect.
way up here.
You all right?
Way up here.
Nathan, I want you to remember to be here because you're on your heels right now and you're standing like this.
Yep. I like that. You can see Theodore come up again. I like that. This time when I'm coaching, right, I say, hey, when you're in the field, I'm going to get right in here with them, and I'm going to show them exactly where I am in here.
Okay.
Yeah, so even
Okay.
I love what you said. Perfect script, because you're saying you catching out front, but I want to make it into the context of where I am on the court and in the game.
Okay.
So if I'm correcting Nathan, I know you do it, but catch up here, I'm going to be right here in that non-body zone with you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Very innovative drill, like that. You're in your clothes?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Okay. And you've been moving around, so you're over there and you're back there and you're
Yes,
over here,
I
you're
have
over here.
been.
Okay.
I've been.
Okay.
To work on our shifting our weight, using our knees more, and keeping it in the non-volley zone. All right, then we go to our next drill.
Okay. That was your close? Are you open? Okay. So so coaches, how you feel? Okay. Did you feel like you understood the objectives of the drills and what we were working on?
Good job demonstrating.
Okay. He demonstrated. Nice.
What's really hard for me is not to tell my observation before I ask somebody. So, I have somebody like you that dings a bell that's like, ask him a question before you tell him what they did wrong.
Yep.
So I think asking first, hey, how did you
How
guys
do you feel you did? Yeah.
But to me, it didn't.
And telling you what you did well too.
Yeah, it didn't
Yeah.
bother me either way.
Yeah.
But I think, open-ended questions is sort of the preferred coaching.
Yes. Yeah. Because we're pulling out. And do you feel like so with those open-ended questions, it's really easy to be able to individualize everything too. So did you feel like even when you got the feedback on your parameters, was it individualized? Did you feel like Trent, you had one thing you need to work on? Tony, you had one thing you need to work. I mean, did it feel like you each had something different, or was it like a group?
More group, and I think that's the hard part is really trying to individualize it and
Yeah.
pick out one thing.
It's tough, isn't it? Yeah.
you know, hey, work more on your front hand because your backhand's coming out nice and easy.
Or do you find by coming, instead of just going into that, me going at it, what I think I saw, open it up and say, hey, how you guys feel about it? He may say something different. He says something different. That allows me to go to that individual of, okay, if you saw that this was the issue, well, here's why I.
Yeah, that's great. And a lot of times when you ask the open feedback first, they will tell you exactly what you have. So it may, if you know what I'm saying, I'm noticing, you know, Trent's not catching it in front. Trent, what are you noticing? What's feedback? Hey, man, I'm not catching it in front. Man, that's great. I saw the same thing. I got a drill that's going to help with that, right? But if he may be saying, hey, I feel like my feet, I'm not moving my feet, right? But the reason why he's moving his feet is because he's not catching the paddle out front. So even though it's his feet, I'm not going to say, okay, let me just work on that because that's what he feels is wrong, right? To your point. I may say that's a symptom, but it's not the cause, right? The symptom is because so if I can correct this, that may correct his feet, right? So let me go to that first. Hey, you do a good point, and I can feedback. Good point, you're not moving your feet, and one reason is because you're not catching out front, and I can point it back to that, and then you can come back to the feet too. It's a good point. Yeah. All right, just 2 coaches, right?
We need one more.
I thought we already had 2, right?
We had 3.
Oh, that's right, you got.
I went fast. I didn't want to be critiqued by
Okay.
my supervisor.
Okay, I want to go.
At least he's honest.
All right, we're gonna.
I didn't want
Okay.
to be critiqued. Because I think I do
All right,
everything horrible.
we're in your close.
So we're going to get started, and we are going to play a game, and then I'm going to point out some individually.
Okay.
So
Okay.
we're going to get right into our game.